Vladimir Putin is facing growing challenges. The war in Ukraine has lasted far longer than many originally expected. Western sanctions remain in place, and Europe's political landscape is shifting in ways that Moscow did not anticipate. Recently, France has taken two notable actions that have drawn international attention. The first involves Russia's so-called shadow fleet. On January 22, French authorities intercepted a tanker in the Mediterranean Sea that was suspected of being part of a sanctions-evading oil network. According to public reports, the vessel was believed to be operating under questionable flag registration and was subject to international sanctions. France stated that the action was conducted under international maritime law, specifically within the framework of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Officials also confirmed that judicial proceedings were opened following the seizure. Reports indicate that the United Kingdom provided tracking support prior to the interception. British naval assets had reportedly monitored the vessel as it passed through the Strait of Gibraltar before French authorities acted in the Mediterranean. This is part of a broader international effort. Since the invasion of Ukraine, Russia has relied on a large network of aging oil tankers, often described as a shadow fleet, to transport oil to buyers willing to purchase it despite sanctions. Analysts estimate that this fleet includes hundreds, possibly over 1,000 vessels operating under complex ownership structures and alternative flag registrations. While the seizure of a single tanker may not dramatically impact Russia's oil exports, it sends a broader message: enforcement efforts are increasing. For Moscow, oil revenue remains critical. Sanctions have limited access to international finance and foreign reserves. Discounted oil sales to countries outside the sanctions framework have become an essential revenue stream. In that context, even incremental enforcement actions increase operational risk. But France's second move may be even more strategically significant. According to public statements made by President Macron, France has substantially increased the level of military intelligence it provides to Ukraine. Reports suggest that France now supplies a major share of the intelligence used by Ukrainian forces. Intelligence plays a critical role in modern warfare. Satellite imagery, electronic signal tracking, and reconnaissance data allow Ukraine to monitor troop movements, identify equipment positions, and assess battlefield developments. France operates an advanced satellite network, including optical imaging satellites capable of high-resolution imagery. These systems provide updated visual data that can support military planning and targeting analysis. Additionally, France participates in electromagnetic intelligence collection systems designed to detect and triangulate radio emissions, potentially useful in identifying command centers or radar systems. While the United States remains an important intelligence partner for Ukraine, political shifts in Washington have created uncertainty about the long-term consistency of U.S. intelligence sharing. European leaders, including Macron, have emphasized the need for greater regional responsibility in defense matters. For Ukraine, diversification of intelligence sources reduces vulnerability. For Russia, it complicates strategic calculations. If Ukraine can maintain consistent access to high-quality intelligence, regardless of political shifts elsewhere, it strengthens Kyiv's long-term resilience. At the same time, there are limits. France's systems do not fully replace certain American capabilities, particularly early warning detection related to ballistic missile launches. Still, the broader trend is clear. Europe is becoming more active, not only economically, but militarily and strategically. The seizure of a tanker and the expansion of intelligence cooperation may appear as separate developments, but together they reflect something larger: a tightening enforcement environment and deeper European involvement in the conflict's strategic dimensions. For Moscow, that means increased scrutiny at sea and increased sophistication in the intelligence picture facing Russian forces. For Ukraine, it represents an attempt to ensure continuity, even amid shifting global politics. The situation remains fluid, but one thing is certain: the strategic landscape surrounding the war in Ukraine is evolving, and France has positioned itself as a more prominent player than many anticipated.